Hello everyone, today we're gonna be looking into the new gear player progressions for people who just hit level 60 or are already progressing a bit when coming to the game already, but they're still not sure what to do. There are a lot of systems and I'm gonna be looking to cover Soulboost progression and all the different systems we have in the game, since I hear that a lot of new players are overwhelmed by the amount of systems and the gear progression we have in the game. So I hope you have a better understanding of what to do when you come to the game, or you already play for a bit and want to have a little touch-ups what you can upgrade and all the different systems and how to progress them. So I'm on my old right now. As you can see, it has okay-ish gear. It's pretty low, but this is a soul boost gear you can get. You can get a bit more. And if you check the soul boost, which unlocks at level 60 for each character, we have a soul boost. As you can see, we don't need to finish all the soul boost quests. And if you check my other character, your gear is gonna look like this if you already finished all the stage 1 quests by just logging in. You will get the Oculus item stages already from the early Soul Boost rewards, and later on you're gonna get the Stormtide ones just by being logged in. You can clear the stage 2 rewards pretty easily. It's just show that Aya Janara and Sanctum, for example. As you can see here on this map already, here's Sanctum, and here's easy mode, show that I have Janara. And the other ones are pretty easy to do. The other ones you can also finish up, they're in F8. Just make sure to pick up a quest and try and finish them. If you ever have any questions, you can ask anytime in Faction Chat or on Blade and Soul Discord. People will help you out with either making parties or just having basic knowledge. It's just important to know the easy ones are the solo ones, of course, and the other ones you can do in F8 to do the other dungeons. You can see also the dungeon list in Control J, and that's where you can also see all the different dungeons. So you just need to finish quest for quest. As you can see, you don't need to finish all of them. What I focused on mostly doing the solo ones, doing Yeti, doing a bounty, which is also easy, and doing Darkweald. I'm gonna get into Darkweald in a bit. And the stage 3 ones are the Demonsbane ones. If you check here, you can see your Demonsbane ones you have unlocked with the stage rewards as well. And what is really important to note is like the stage 1 runs are really easy to finish up and you can progress quite quickly. The weekly ones are also quite easy to clear. As you can see, you can just select them. I finish the heroic dungeons, finish the solo dungeons, and finish the Demonsbane ones. It's really easy. You can also exchange your stuff, and they're usually quite easy to complete. This is the way I recommend to do it. And after you've finished it, you can equip the outfit of this outfit box, and you unlock Soul Boost Plus. By the time you reach Soul Boost Plus, you're gonna get a considerable amount of gear with the end game gear of Blood Knight at the moment, and this is one stage before Vesper, which we will be getting at a later dungeon. So basically, you get this unlocked, and you get lots of rewards, you get your Blood Knight ring, and you start to upgrade it. After you upgrade it to level 6, by just upgrading it with the Blood Knight stones, you can finish the quest quite quickly and progress to stage 6, 7, and 8, where there you unlock them by literally just upgrading to level 6, which is really easy. Note after level 6 it gets harder to upgrade, and after level 10 it gets even more harder to upgrade. You also barely get any pity for failing. Some items don't have pity, but most of our gear progression items these days has pity. As you can see here, 57% pity on my ring. I did not upgrade it yet. After you finish it, you can just rapidly progress. The quests are quite understandably easy and where you need to go for there, and finishing up the Soul Boost shouldn't be that hard. So if you look into the quests, we can see I have 1 out of 3 Din of the Ancient ones. If I claim it, the quest, it's gonna be 2 out of 3, right? Same for Spectral Shrine one, 2 out of 3. I finish it, and my progress continues. You can get the rewards, they're quite significant, they're not that little to miss out on. And let's see, you get lots of rewards. So As you can already see, I can show you how we upgrade now. There are multiple systems. We have a normal upgrading one we refer to as enchanting, or just upgrading. And this can fail. For example, this stage we got from Soulboost, it does not fail. You can click on your item, manage equipment, or shift left click, and upgrade. Easy as that. What else we have, for example, in the system, is we can put psychs on, and we get psychs from our progress from the soul boost. So for example, if you take the badge one here, it says clearly for soul and mystic badge. On augmenting, we can put in psychs, and we have a random chance to get these stats or higher stats. So like the base stat is like 110 mystic, and we can roll more. It's quite cheap right now at this level, but you also gotta see it later on. It's gonna be a lot more expensive with tradable mats, so you need to see, do you want to use it up or not. Right now it's quite cheap, so I'm just gonna do it, and as you can see, it's still pure chance. The higher up psychs they are, the better chance you have at getting good stat increase. But yeah, it's quite cheap and easy. You just gotta see for yourself which gear you're gonna be using, because the psychs stay on the accessory, but you won't get the psych anymore if you skip out the stage. So for example, we could have Blood Knight belt for Blood Knight is a bad example. Glove, for example. I have a +6 glove right now. If I were to format in Twilight, which we can see in Control J, in Twilight Forest, we're gonna get the next set of accessories. And if I were to get the gloves, I could succession it next to the next stop and carry over some levels. You can succession at +10. What does succession mean? I have a +11 earring right now. If I were to have a +0 Vesper earring the next year, it's important it's not upgraded and does not have any psychs on the higher tier. You can use it and upgrade it by using succession on it. So you're gonna have these different effects, and there's gonna be a new tab on the Vesper one for succession, which you can put in if you have a +11 one. If you're not sure, here's my sheet where you can see like all the different upgrade ones we have of accessories. And here we have the latest one right now with a Soulboost one with Stormtide, Blood Knight, and the Twilight one with a Respite at the moment. Next dungeon will have Twilight, and the next dungeon afterwards is going to have a couple more with new Soulshields as well. This sheet is going to come up a lot, and you will need it. You can also see the item drops in this, also the future Korean dungeons coming to our server. Gonna put this into the description, of course, so you can see it. And it's really important to note the succession system. You oftentimes want to use it. For example, you will get a +11 true upsurge weapon, which you can put into your +0 battalion one. And the +11 is gonna carry over, and you will have a +6 battalion one. The same can be said about the Soul, Heart, Pet, and TARDIS one, but I made a different video about it, and it's really, really important. You don't get baited by the Soul Boost upgrades here with the free upgrade stones. I made a video about it, and the TLDR for it is pretty much you get into the Soul and Heart, etc. Here, this one. And you basically want to upgrade it to +14 to skip out a lot of stages. There's a video for it if you want to check it out, and you will save up a lot in long-term progress. So what else do we have? We have a lot of quests as well. People are not sure which to do. We have a normal, of course, quest until Arc 12. We can unlock the Northern Continent. And basically the quests you want to prioritize is the yellow quest, of course, and the quest ladders. Which ones are important? Basically the ones with the purple quests, so you can unlock more utility. The orange quests later on, if you have a time for it, and some of the blue quests. So for example, we have like these certain special blue quests for Layer, Tomb, and Bloodshade at the moment, and the Bloodshade is relatively hard to unlock. There's gonna be a link I'm gonna put into the description for how to unlock that one. The other ones should be blue ladder quests, which you can take to unlock the dailies for this. Daily challenge, of course, unlocks at level 60, and you can do that. You should also prioritize that. If you don't do it for 2 days, they will stack up. The rewards will stack up, and for the 3 out of 5 dailies, or 3 out of 7, you will get the rewards of the last 2 days if you slacked. So that's it for the quest. What's really important next are all the different systems we have in the game. So we're gonna start out by the Insignias, as Control K. The Insignias look like this. It looks complicated at first, it looks like runes, and you could say that they're quite complicated, but it's really easy to figure out, because you can unlock more pages, of course, you can name them however you want to, and you can put in stuff you want to. You unlock them by getting higher level, and you just unlock them via a few mats and some gold, and you can put in really important items. Well, insignias, I should say. Where do you get insignias? Doing Sanctum of Masters twice a day. Otherwise, the game also gives you like quite a lot of chests. In my sheet again, I have the here, let's see, insignias, which ones are better. I also have a video for it if you want to get into depths. But this one shows you which are best at the moment and which ones you should be using. At the moment, everyone is using the Berserker ones. I also recommend you using those. So this is under Control K. Also note, you should lock some insignias to either upgrade, so upgrading them works normally, right? To get a chance for better ones, or you can guild them. If you lock them, you can just put in all your trash ones and reroll them quite quickly. It's really handy, and that's how you can get new ones quite quickly by trashing out your old ones. If you're not sure, always keep them, always lock them if you don't want to waste them. So the next one would be Unity. This is Shift, no, it's Control H. And the Unity stones quite forward, the higher Unity you get. Also, I'm sorry for my bad graphics at the moment. For the Unity rank you get, you can also click down here for it. You can get different stones just by doing normal dailies. As you can see, they are also on the rewards here with those Splendor tokens, and you also get some by other normal dailies. They can just take one, for example, a blue one, open it, and then you have a legendary one. Here's also the trader for it in Ayanara, if you want to upgrade them. And you can also upgrade like the big stones with skill damage. Kefam doesn't have any good skill damage modifier, but some classes do have, and they give skill points, which is really huge. Again, on my sheet, Unity, and this is kind of how it looks like. The Swellstone is at the moment from Frozen Layer, and they're quite easy to upgrade, or just collect. Just important you prioritize the boss attack power ones. Next one would be the cards we have with Control M, and they're quite forward. You'll get some card collections sometimes randomly in the game. For example, here in Unity Stones, we can buy some with the card collections here. Let's take this one, Vesper one. If you can see, we open it, don't see anything. Then it instantly got added to a collection in Control M, and you have lots of different ones. If they appear here, you can just click on them, as you can see here, and if you finish a full set effect, you will get bonus permanent stats across your account. As you can see, I get 42 boss AP right now across my full account and 65,000 HP, which is quite nice. Just something to note on the side, you probably won't run into it a lot. Then we have a Relics with Shift U. And the Relics, again, they're also account-wide, and you can put some stuff in. Most of the time we put debuff damage in for the insane scaling. It's really important to note debuff damage is one of the best stats in the game. I will go into the stats later on, if I don't forget it. And basically, you get from lots of different rewards, for example, on the Demonsbane ones, you can get different relics. So the orange ones, the legendary ones, are of course the ones you want to prioritize with debuff damage. Sometimes debuff damage with purple ones, and there are also some of the mythical red ones. but the red ones you usually want to prioritize for set effect. You see Golden Tiger Power with 3 set effect gives me 1% damage. The 8 set effect would give me a total of 10% damage, which would make me do more Golden Tiger damage to the Twilight Forest dungeon, to the Chaotic Cryptids which is gonna come. The Golden Dragon one is gonna do bonus damage against Abyss and Frostfire Foundry at the moment. So those are some good increases. You can buy those also guaranteed of those tokens. But yes, as I said already, you can find them in my sheet with a video. Here's a video I made if you want to go in depth. And here's again the TLDR for the stuff you need for it and what everything does. Just go back if you need it again and you can check this up. So the next thing we have is P. If you press P, you can see your character skill points. Also note P is not the same as the F2 stats, because for some reason the boss attack power is quite different, and usually people recruit via the faction chat function, which I'm gonna get into soon. So it's pretty easy. The more points you have, you can just put them. You want to prioritize putting 25 into HM focus and 20 into offense for now, because the set effect of 20 gives you a bit of AP. And this one gives you Hongmoon focus and hit and 250 attack power for 10 seconds, which is quite nice. Hongmoon focus is a thing that stacks up your ultimate bar. And your ultimate bar at 100 you can use. It's an okay skill, but it doesn't matter much. It's more important with 250 boss attack power. Some threat, usually 5 is enough for a character to be a tank, and the rest into offense. You can see, the set effects hour-wise. If you sometimes struggle to survive, you can put 20 into defense to get some more HP, but it won't be that much. You can also spec some movement speed, but I don't recommend this until later on. Debuff is for PvP, this one, because this is debuff defense, not damage. Last point we have is the skill points. As you can already see, I have a couple of skill points in my K, my skill. And what you can do is put them into your skill. And you gotta see yourself which class needs what skills the most. And you get those by the Soulboost rewards. Let's see. Here, these different items. Like the ovals and the skill books. These you can unlock by pressing U. And then here we have one for the region level 60. You click on here. Exactly like this. You click on it and it's gone. Got one more skill point. So yeah, I didn't claim all of them here yet. So they're quite easy to get and they boost your skill damage a decent amount. So that's covering all the new systems we have. It's also really important that we have the exploration journal, which is also account-wide, which is quite nice in, let's see, Control U. And it's quite easy. You click on one of them, so we have a collections where you need to run out. Click on the quests, click on the items on the ground to collect them. Each region has their own. We have Destiny to kill, to get those name cards as well, like in Control M. But those name cards are set for each region as well. They're a bit harder to get. Usually I buy them with bounty coins each week, and you should be able to do your collection as well. The mini bosses and the bosses in each region also give you those chests. The kill ones is also quite easy. You just need to kill them in each continent to figure out like where they are. Story 1 is just a blue quest in each region, and exploration itself is finding the little blue dots to find the exploration points. As you can see, they give a good amount of stats. 100 attack power just by luck. They apply everywhere on my account. So an easier time to find these is also on my sheet with a, let's see, with a journal ones here. So there you can see where the bounty bosses are, or mini bosses, and the big exploration points and collections. I linked a couple of videos. What is also really important is that we have bounties with Shift H, and you can do them each week. where you can buy get those bounty hunter tokens and buy lots of goodies at each region. And what that means is, like I said already, here in this sheet you can find the mini bosses which you need to kill. Also there's a description where they can be. And there's also a timer for the big boss. So there are basically 3 big bosses for this challenge here, daily challenge. Kill this, and it depends which boss it is every day. So for example, today it's Balrog, Dark Balrog. We go into this sheet. I'm gonna link this website in the comments as well. And it tells you which of the 3 bosses spawn where. So right now it's a bit after 10 p.m. Next one is gonna be in like a bit less than 2 hours. It's Dark Balrog, and it clearly tells you when it is. So where can you find those? There's Haman in the northern continent, here in the middle of it, at Elderbirch. It spawns a portal at 15. You can look at the website when exactly. People will also write about it in faction chat. And you're gonna wait for OTP, you go in, wait another 5 minutes, and you can fight Haman. The other one is in Silverfrost, Frost Scale Basin. Let's see closer. In Frost Scale Basin, the middle spawns Dark Balrog. It depends on the day of the week, and they usually spawn every 3 hours-ish. And the last one is Murkdrake, which is in Solak, and he's gonna spawn, I think, top left, bottom right, and top right in like 5-minute intervals, often, like every 3 hours, if he were to spawn. It depends on the day, like I said again. And at each region there's a small merchant where you can trade in those honor tokens. You can usually buy lots of goodies with those, usually those wise sterlings, pet packs, stigmas, which you can upgrade your stuff with, of course. And that's gonna be your long-term progress. You can also buy those, let's see, yes, those Destiny ones with the cards, you can also buy those. There are lots of ways to progress those, it's quite nice as well. And they give you account-wide stats. I recommend you doing them if you have some time, or if you're bored and you're alone, because you can finish those alone. I recommend you check out to do those, once a day, for just to finish the daily, get lots of honor tokens, and finish your Shift U bounties. So the next thing we're gonna be looking in is the class guides. Let's go into F8, F12. And if you look at my sheet, there's some class guides. I haven't finished the sheet yet fully, but it's quite nice to see a detailed guide for each class, With a full guide for KFM, for example, and then detailed guides for each spec. The sheet also tells you how high the DPS numbers are and what kind of DPS the class is. So for example, it's on Wolf KFM, it's pretty good DPS with high DPS, but it's mostly burst damage. And the fire and low KFM specs are sustained damage and they're not that high DPS. There's also a quick TLDR how to play the class, but I recommend just checking out the guides and looking into it yourself. It's really important if you're new to practice your combos a lot in F12, and you can just do different passes here and just fight with dummies and see how much damage you do. So you can already see my damage is already highly inflated by my debuff damage. You look into my stats. Your debuff damage is gonna be a lot less than mine, since the account stats from my relics and my journal also apply on my ult. And also if you prioritize upgrading your earring first, earring gives you more debuff damage than ring, necklace, and gloves. And bracelet and belt give you like no debuff damage at all, so that's the upgrade priority usually in the game. If you're new to the game, it could also be a priority by how much or when you can get the Vesper one of the next year, etc. So what is debuff damage? If you look into debuff damage, first of all, it's really important to know debuff damage is basically the damage you do on a CC target. Mystic damage is the damage you do at any given point. It's just purely a damage amplifier. There's also critical and crit damage, as you can already see. Let's see into my history. My skills all crit. It's rare they don't crit, and crit damage also affects it. But since we have a lot more crit damage than Mystic, the scaling on crit damage is a lot weaker. That's also why it's really important that when you upgrade your accessories, you pick the right stat. You're not sure about which stats to pick. Under enchantments, you can see which stats are best. And for late players in the game, you can also see which stats of mystic percentage, etc. are best there. But they're also for late game players. This one is for new players who are not sure. But it's usually pretty obvious that mystic gives you more damage since HP doesn't give you any damage. And otherwise, if you can get debuff damage somehow via certain gems, for example, or by upgrading stuff, or by any of the other means I mentioned earlier, this is how you do a lot of damage. So you want to prioritize mystic damage, debuff damage. If you can get percentage damage of those are always better than the flat stats. Additional damage, not much interesting, and accuracy and piercing, rarely interesting at all. People most of the time are just going to recruit by using boss AP. So we can see at the moment no one is recruiting via boss AP, but I have like nearly 10,000 boss AP. If someone is recruiting a dungeon with 10k boss AP plus, you can ask them, hey, maybe I can join, know mechanics. And that's also really important in the game that you know your class and you know your mechanics. So for example, I know when I do a dummy pass, for example, I can CC the dummy, and for those 3 seconds I do bonus damage. And not little bonus damage. I can also see like how much my skills do damage if you're not sure which amulet to use. And if you're not sure which unity stones give you most damage. Just look into this. Practice your combos. There's also some more practicing here, usually not for third spec though. And it also tells you about joint attacks. Joint attacks are also really, really important in the game. And it's basically, let's see quickly. If we take one of the guides of joint attacks, which I really recommend you do, you can just KD it, right? And see, this one doesn't have any joint attack meter. But if you go into the this one, which most bosses will have, if I use it once, like it will fail because the boss won't be CC'd. What we need to do is wait until someone does a CC and we can follow it up. You can of course also start it yourself, but as long as it's white, it will fail. But if you wait now and it starts to become black, you can always do CC. So for example, so green is KD, blue is stun, and red is dazed. People rarely have these. Yellow's knockback. I'm pretty sure no one has knockback. So, for example, if you switch now to Wolf, let's see if that works. You can also do double stun here, which you can also practice, which is quite nice. For example, KFM, or Wolf KFM specifically, is one of those classes that can go into a dungeon. Let's see, like this. And he can do a double stun while jumping in and then do a grab as well. That's a topic for itself. I have a video on my channel for the KFM CC opener. I think it also has a video link to it, how other classes can CC open like that. It's basically you jump in, it's also one of the class knowledges, you double stun and then you can grab. Grab right now on this boss doesn't work, but on a lot of dungeons in F8 it would work. It also depends. Usually Demonsbane bosses can't be double CC'd at the start these days. Power Run, for example, can't be. Yeti can't be. Isol can't be. Throne can be. And like the Demonsbane ones usually can CC them after like one attack rotation. And you can grab for your team. So it's just really, really important to practice a lot and understand how your joint attack works. Because if you just do one, it won't do anything. If you start a boss randomly, you see it will just close up. The timing is really important. Look into it. Talk to your people in your group. Usually the KDs last 3 seconds. Stuns usually last 2 seconds. So you want to KD when you can, if you don't get punished for it. Some bosses have a get-up attack, so the CC duration is lower. So if you look in dungeons, for example, like all of those dungeons you don't want to KD, other than Power Run, you could KD, but you rarely would do. Or like Twilight Forest, you can KD that one, she doesn't have a get up attack, and that will gain you 1 more second for CC. What is also really, really important is to know the mechanics of each dungeon, because you will notice you're gonna go into Twilight, and you're just gonna wipe. You're gonna go into forest, you're gonna notice you don't do any damage because the boss is a shield. Knowing the mechanics is really, really important, and knowing how much DPS you do. Here, this one, we can see how much DPS we do outside of a normal DPS meter, right? And this one also shows you how much you need to do. So for example, on Forest, if you want to do Foundry on stage 2, you gotta see like, hey, can you hold 60 million? Probably in F12 here, you can do more than that. Boss has heavy damage reduction, so you probably need like maybe 100 million or something, which isn't hard to reach. You just gotta know like how much you do realistically inside of a dungeon and know the mechanics. So to each, there's a guide I linked. There's also a video for each, so we have it visually. And I also wrote a small TLDR about how they work. So you can just look into it, and it's really important to know mechs. And if you go into dungeons with randoms, it's really, really important to tell them you don't know mechs or you want to practice. People will help you. There's some people might leave, but people will 100% leave if you survived in the party and you didn't mention anything that you knew, right? It's also really important that you make lots of friends in the games. If you get along with someone around your gear and you know they're fun, they know their stuff, you can just make some friends, and later on it's going to be really, really helpful to do rankings with them, to have fun in normal dungeon running for dailies or multi runs. And yeah, also another thing a lot of new players don't know, because you have this normal blocking, this one is a counter, there's also deflect with parry, or just a normal block, I have a counter. But what a lot of people don't know who never came to the game is you also have iframes, which you can mostly hear by this ding sound. And basically, you don't take any damage, and you also won't get CC'd. Yellow attacks are blockable, so you can't block this one. Let's see again. You can't block it, but red attacks you can iframe. So this one I can also iframe. So you can iframe everything except purple attacks. And you can block everything except the red or purple attacks. Purple attacks usually one-shot in the game, but these days they don't do much damage anymore. That's really important to learn how to iframe, otherwise you will just get knocked around and you can't DPS much. So just look for your iframe skills. Iframe means vulnerability frames. So every class has an iframe on the SS. Resist damage and status effects for exploration. It's fine if it doesn't resist the status effect or the damage, and only the status effects, but then sometimes you might get dots and you might kill yourself. So just look out for your skills and your K. And you can see, for example, on most melee classes, your SS or Q and E, here QE, they give you iframes. Resist damage for X duration. Most classes have a 5-second iframe. We refer to bubble though as well. So try and play around that. Especially if you tank, you need to know what you're doing. If you range, your positioning is really important. So the next thing we can be looking into is Darkweald. Darkweald is in F3. We can't go there right now. I can show the dungeon list first, that should work. Let's go into recruitment first, I guess. Most people recruit via the world chat or faction chat, like you already see, and people were spamming here. And then they usually go into F8. There are also some people who go into F8 themselves and select a dungeon. Elf being usually won't get you much people. As you can already see, someone is recruiting. You can just recruit yourself. You can just join another lobby, see how high it is, see if you can do it, and see if there are any requirements to do it. Here you can also see your dailies. Easy, normal, hard mode. Hard mode you're probably gonna do later on. And then there's the Demonsbane. You can also scroll here for power run, which we don't often need. And you can also select the stage you can do. So you gotta finish the stage. Stage 1, so you can do stage 2. Stage 2, so you have 3 unlocked. And then you need to do stage 2 again to gain the XP to actually be able to enter stage 3. So that's how you slowly progress. After you have 3, you need to unlock 4, and etc. As you can already see in my sheet, the damage goes up quite a lot higher on each dungeon. And gotta be careful of that. We can already go into Darkweald here. So basically, it's important to look out. If you can't find any parties, recruit yourself. If you're not sure, always ask about mechanics. People will help you out. And you can also just, ask in faction chat before you enter anything if you're new to the game. It's also really important that a lot of people recruit via boss attack power. So yeah, now we are in Darkweald. You can already see we have a quest here. Yeah. And usually you can get it. We have a letter quest visiting Darkweald, something like that. You accept it, and then you can come into here, take the quest. With these, in Mushin Tower, there's an NPC to exchange those for lots of goodies. And in Mushin Tower, you can also exchange all the other important items, like Vespa accessories, etc. I can show you in a second. And basically, what you want to do here, this is how you gain XP in the game. So right now, Soulboost gives you lots of XP, of course. The 10 million charms, where you get just 10 million until you HM 35, and the normal ones as well. But otherwise, you're gonna be pressing this button or Shift 4 usually, and it will just do it normally for you and auto farm it for you. You can see in the top, we have 1 hour left to farm, and there's 1 hour timing every single day, so you should abuse this 1 hour and get some buff food. I'm not sure if I'm having any buff food right now here. They're called Darkweald soups, or just soups normally. Yeah, like this. This gives you a lot of combat XP, and you're gonna rapidly level up like this as well. And if you have hourglasses, like here, you can just stack them up, and some of those soups also stack up. It should usually tell you those. So if you go to a Mushin Tower, you can see the next merchants we need. And that's pretty much nearly everything. So that's where you are able to buy the items you're not dropping, like the next Praetorian weapon, I think. So if you look into here you can buy the weapon. And the badges, etc. It also tells you what quests you need to do or what achievements you need. So here you can look for achievements. And here are all the items sorted by how new they are. Usually you don't need to bother about the awakened stuff early on. And that's how you progress in the game usually. Those are the really old items. Here are the Darkweald ones, and usually want to buy the Patchem one. You can also buy it from Run, Cosmetic, and here the stackable combat soups with even more combat XP and the other items. If you go back into F12, we can also look into a breaker stat. Breaking is really important and seems like a lot of people have problems with it. So, for example, on the hard mode dungeons, which a lot of people are doing, let's see, current hard mode dungeons are like, let's see here, Harbor, Tomb, and Layer. Those are 6 mans with high HP, so you want to play around the grab to burst them down. Those don't have any breakers. But the old Demonsbane dungeons like Yeti, Skysong, and Throne, those will change up in the future. You can break those, which is also even more important on Twilight, Frostfire, and Abyss, that you don't want to break during bad timings. Don't break into the shield, and don't break outside with CC on Forest, so you do bonus damage during the CC. What is a breaker? It's pretty basic. You apply it, and you get quite a lot of break until it hits 100%. There are also some cheesy ways to get breaker. So, for example, one of those would be a blue one with time stitch. Let's see. No, breaker monster they're called. Small amount of breaker is added to your counter, block, or parry, whichever you have. And basically, when it fills up to full, so you can see I don't have quite everything yet, and KFM already adds quite a lot. If you look into my sheet again, we're gonna have a breaker bar. So we know ISIL and Yeti can be broken from as well, but it has a lot more. And if you look into a breaker calculator, we can see which spec has what break. So for example, I'm KFM, right? Wolf KFM has 2300. The other 2 KFM specs don't have any right now. So if you look into those, yeah, we can also see the old dungeons, which are kind of irrelevant. Here's an Excel sheet for the old stuff and what breakers each class has. Here you can also look into it, but it's a bit harder to find. But for example, on KFM, click again, it's only one inside wolf. Let's see this one. And contributes a very large amount to breaker stat. So KFM has 2300, which is one of the highest already in the game. So I'm able to solo break Foundry, and I need like a little bit more break for Abyss and Forest for someone else to break. So it's really important you just don't randomly use it, or if you have a dual blade, to let him finish. Don't just randomly use it. Talk to people. Hey, when do we use it? And usually for uh, Foundry, it's like, hey, the phase finished. The boss has 0 shield sticks. We can break. Abyss usually do it after the phase, which is also useful. Forest is also at the end of a phase with a CC. It's really important to learn your breaker timings and to figure out which class has which breaker. I think this one shows you. Let's look into this sheet. And yeah, it shows you kind of which one has what. Certain classes just don't have any breaker. Let's see, again, like for example, Warlock. It doesn't have any breakers other than third spec. And third spec doesn't even, people don't play third spec. So usually people know that Warlock can't break. And then there's some iffy classes like Blade Master, which has more break. Usually you have a 60-second cooldown on break. Blade Master and Soul Fighter, for example, have 30 seconds. So you gotta look around yourself how and when you're going to use those. Also, important side note, this sheet has a lot of things, also including the upgrade costs of certain items, soul shield stats. We're also going to get new soul shields soon. So you know what stats to roll for, which of course Mystic is going to be most important. Critical accuracy and recovery are going to be okay-ish. You can, to max it out. And there's also the primer stats for soul shields, which you tend to get from Soulboost. And you can just, I don't have any primers right now on me, just take them and enchant them as well and put them here. Here you can enchant them with the same soul shield, right? So if I add another power and soul shield, sure. But you can also put in primers to give it an additional stat. So for example, if you look at my main has crit damage amplified. Crit damage and debuff are only able to get in the event, and we don't have the event. Otherwise, you want to focus on getting boss AP. Crit isn't much useful in it, or Mystic. Mystic has worse scaling than boss AP at the moment, so you want to take boss AP if you can get it. And the last one is gonna be, if you have a Q&A, here I put a couple of questions here if people are interested. And back again to the raids. We mentioned, the quest letters we have here. The orange ones are raids. Not many people. Okay, no, this one is not a raid. Here, these are the raids. And if you're curious about them, you can go for them if someone is recruiting them, because use adverbs for them. Beat here for Black Tower, which is here in Kandaviha. It's called Skybreak Spire. So you gotta get used to the words. So if someone is like saying, hey, let's do some raids, and someone is recruiting for a certain stand, some people, veterans, might refer to it as BM raid. So yeah, if you have any more questions, you can ask them anytime. Have fun exploring the sheet. You can explore lots, especially about Gildstones as well, for example, which you can put into your accessories. Here we have a certain slot for it. You can just put them into it. Let's see, do I have one right now? Yes, like this. And you can just slowly upgrade them one by one. Here you can see the stats. I want to get 150% crit damage. Which I can't since I'm in combat. Oh yeah, you have a braid again. See, boss is broken, and I do bonus damage during this time. It really depends. Each dungeon, Yeti is broken for like 2 seconds. Abyss is broken for way longer time, for around 2. The others usually like around 6 to 8 seconds-ish. So yeah, you can see here the Gildstones again, some class guides again, and the what is coming in the future. Just explore the sheet and figure out some stuff yourself. I hope this video has helped you explore the game some more. Should be able to reach this kind of gear easily. You will get better badges from the Soulboost Plus. You will be able to plus 11 those from Soulboost Plus, but like I said, I have a video on it. Don't upgrade them via the Soulboost. go over old path, check out the video for that. And these you can upgrade to plus 11, maybe a bit more, and then succession it into your Vespa. Again, you need to drop a Vespa, and then in the Vespa you will have a succession tab. Take out the Gildstone here and put this into the Vespa, and you will get a plus 6 Vespa. And then you can upgrade the Vespa more. Reaching plus 12 Vespa shouldn't be too hard, but you need to progress somehow the game. You can get some more Soulshields via Abyss, and you need to have certain achievements unlocked here in this combat tab. And should be down here quite far down somewhere. We can look for a stat, like which one you need to kill how many times. So for example, we have Frostfire Foundry, right? It really depends which stage you need to clear. So for example, in Abyss, for the 8 set Battalion Soulshields, you need to kill him like, I think 30 times in stage 4. So that's gonna be a long-term upgrade. Otherwise, there's not much to talk about. Just gear up a little bit more, improve your... Well, you already get quite good gems from Soulboost. And level up quickly via Darkweald. Upgrade the rest of your stuff via all the systems we have in the game. Oh yeah, there's also Compound. I forgot to mention Compound at all. Compound is in Shift P, and you should be able to get some etching stones. Let's see if I have some right now here. Etching. Yeah, these ones. I have plenty of those. So basically, you put them in. You should be able to get those from Soulboost. You can also put better in if you have higher ones, like Blood Knight, for example. If you have spare ones, just click on those, you can apply it. And Mystic and crit damage might be fine, but I'm looking for debuff damage at the moment because it has better scaling for the amount you get. So I took a full set with debuff damage only, and that's how you upgrade them as well, quite a lot. For Compound, we can just check out this sheet, and usually people have like one page for AP and one for debuff. Both will have AP if you do Desolate Tomb, Tomb of Exiles, which give quite good etching stones. But the AP one has boss AP as a second stat. Debuff page has debuff damage and AP. So yeah, you can look into it. And it's gonna be it for this video. If you guys have any more video suggestions, or if you're still curious about the other stuff in the game, let me know. I hope I covered most stuff in this game, and I hope you're gonna have a fun time playing this game. Thank you for watching.